In the red corner, it's Monsawan, Lookklongchan. He's 19 years of age. He started fighting when he was 14. 5'3" tall. He's had 35 professional fights, 15 losses and 3 draws. And in the blue corner, it's David Lookmahanark, 18 years of age. Started fighting when he was 10. 5 feet 5 inches tall, 30 professional fights, 13 losses and 4 draws. The sounds of the Muay, played by the live orchestra here ringside for the preliminary dance ritual called the Muay. And there both fighters are on their knees doing the Muay, and then they stand in for the Muay. Both fighters wearing the traditional outfit of the MuayThai fighter, which is the Mongkok crown and those amulets which are strapped to the biceps. Well, there is David Lookmahanark. David is a 18-year-old fighter which has shown a lot of promise in his career. He's 30 fights for 13 losses. Very strong, aggressive sort of fighter. Monsawan, slightly taller than his opponent. And it will be interesting to see in this first round what tactics these two fighters use, whether they will get in close and start rumbling early, or will they stand back and try to work out a fight plan. Monsawan in the red corner, David in the blue. Those just joining Muay Thai for the first time, this first round is often a little slow. It's the probing round, it's the testing round where the two fighters will feint and probe to expose any weakness in defence their opponent may have. And they'll also be working out whether they'll be using long-range tactics where those pendulum roundhouse kicks are the operative weapon, or will they get in close and use their knees and elbows in the grapple. You see the way that David in the blue corner is raising up his shin every time those kicks are fired at his legs, and the shin, of course, is the hardest bone in the body, and it acts like a shield when you raise those knees up. Monsawan in the red corner, keeping the attack, advancing forward onto David, but no one's got any shot in, and so far it's still been sort of tit for tat kicking, probing. No real shots have been delivered at this stage in the first round. A lot of jumping around, a lot of dancing. Roundhouse kicks been fired at the legs, a bit of punching, but nothing really of substance so far. That was better. David there got that solid kick into the body. Both fighters have very strong defences. See the way they're keeping their gloves held up high. Good solid punch there by David. Got through the defence of Monsawan, and again. David's got a very good defence mechanism, the way which he sort of, like a recoil, he lets loose as soon as his opponent advances onto him. Monsawan, very tough, very solid fighter. Punch has been exchanged, and a good solid roundhouse and cheap push kick by David. Well, David let loose there with a thumping kick to the body, and then he followed up with with a push kick, and there he comes with the over-top punch as well. So David now takes a solid kick to the mid-body. The fighters now, both of them, are starting to get their timing correct as they're letting fly with those solid kicks. Here's the roundhouse to the body by Monsawan. And that one did hurt. You saw the way that David sort of just flinched back and dropped his knee a little bit. Some of those kicks can be very solid. More than one opponent has had his ribs cracked by those roundhouse kicks. Not uncommon in Muay Thai, particularly for a fighter who's not being conditioned strongly enough. There's broken ribs is a common problem from a Muay Thai contest if the opponent is not really in that 100% conditioning, as these two fighters are. Monsawan in the red corner, advancing on to David in the blue. David defends by raising his shin shield. Now back into the centre of the ring, solid punch by Monsawan, and then follows up with a roundhouse to the body and some jabs as well. So giving plenty of pressure onto David at the moment is Monsawan in the red corner. There he is now, standing his ground. Again, he lets loose with that roundhouse and scores to the body. And David goes into automatic recoil with punches back, but not much in terms of strength, in terms of doing any damage. He didn't rate very high, but he certainly doesn't want to see Monsawan build up any strong points advantage, so thus his automatic response every time that Monsawan advances onto him, he fires back punches. And there's that roundhouse again, right to the body, and again David sort of dropped down to acknowledge the power of those kicks. So Monsawan really is got his timing to perfection with that roundhouse kick to the body. Roundhouse again to the body by Monsawan. And David is not really having much of a success in defending against those solid kicks to the body region, so that is possibly his weakness. That's something that Monsawan has been able to expose in these first two rounds. And if that's the case, you expect to see a lot more of those kicks being delivered right at the body region. David letting loose with a roundhouse kick, then Monsawan comes back with a head-high kick. Monsawan fighting a very tight fight, not giving David much opportunities to score. He's got a very good defence, and he's also lets loose with his kicks every time that David looks a little dangerous. End of the round, and a good one to Monsawan in the red. And David, he's far from out of this contest, but he's going to have to do something to put some pressure onto Monsawan. There it is. You see the way that David responds to that kick by Monsawan. It really did hurt him. He's done it a couple of times, Monsawan, in this contest, wearing David down. Head-high kick, Monsawan. Well, I don't know what David's going to do, but if he allows Monsawan to just sit back there and peg him off with those roundhouse kicks, well, there's nothing more certain he's going to lose this contest. He's going to have to put some pressure onto Monsawan in the red. And now he's doing something along those lines by advancing in onto him, but with his knees, but not really striking very much. And you see the way Monsawan's in control here, the way he just eludes David every time that he moves in. Now David desperately trying to get grappling going now. They're grabbed by Monsawan. Grappling could be a way of putting some pressure back onto Monsawan, but right now Monsawan's doing everything right with his punches. There he goes with the elbow attempt now to Monsawan. Punches again. Jabs. And watch him go with his roundhouse kick when he gets the opportunity. Knee strike by David. There he is, roundhouse to the body, the side of the rib cage, and again. David looking determined now as he advances onto Monsawan. He wants to go grappling and try to get his knee strikes to do some damage against Monsawan. Of course, Monsawan doesn't want to entertain him with any grappling, and he's standing back there just delivering his roundhouse kicks that he's able to accumulate points with. So that's smart fight plan by Monsawan. And David is having trouble trying to break through the defence of Monsawan at the moment. Now he does with a good knee strike. Now he's got his chance to knee strike in the grapple. Elbow by Monsawan, back of the head. It looks like he may have cut him. That was a good elbow by Monsawan. So it came in sharp. The ringside doctor has been called in to look at it. I don't think they'll stop it. I don't think it was that serious, but it's a nick. Yes, nasty one right underneath his eye, and that's going to make it difficult for him because Monsawan will be able to just work on that cut. And it's certainly going to be a bit of distraction for David as well. There's the elbow, 2 elbows. Elbow by Monsawan, responded by an elbow by David. And of course, Monsawan's already opened up a slight cut under the eye of David with his elbow strike. But that hasn't deterred David from going on the attack like he's doing now. Hard attack and a knee strike. There is that cut. That cut is bleeding. Referee allowing the fight to go on, but it's certainly going to be of some concern to David in the blue corner. Roundhouse to the body. That's a lovely kick by Monsawan. Knee strike by Monsawan. Bell goes to end round 3, and there's the blood trickling down from David. Serious cut now. And that's going to mean he's going to have to defend his eye for 2 rounds. There he is coming in with a solid knee strikes onto Monsawan. And what's the elbow coming up? There he is defending. There's the damage was done. There's the referee consulting the doctor. Doctor saying the cut's not too bad, allowing him to continue on. And you're watching MuayThai. Again, some of the slow motion here of David as he works in onto Monsawan. And there's that elbow that did the damage. Solid elbow it was too. That struck onto David, and there's the referee coming across to have a look at it. But that was a short, sharp elbow. And there's David, been allowed to continue the fight. And there he is getting a fair bit of attention in his corner. He's got 2 more rounds to weather. Looks like the handlers have been able to stop the bleeding, but it's certainly going to be a bit of distraction for him with 2 more rounds remaining. Getting plenty of advice to say that he's behind on points. He needs to move up a cog or 2. He's going to win the contest, and they're asking him to really advance forward in this round to peg back the points advantage and get the initiative back away from Monsawan, because Monsawan really has been dominating the fight, particularly in that last round. We've got 2 more rounds remaining, and David now on the attack. He's carrying a cut underneath his right eye. And Monsawan, no doubt, will be just standing back there, aiming the jabs at that cut, and also delivering those roundhouse kicks that he's been accumulating points with. And David looks best when he gets in close and gets his knees working. Going in for the grapple. Knee at defence by Monsawan. Roundhouse kicks are being exchanged. Kick for kick. David doing the advancing. Monsawan just jabbing out of that cut. And David in all sorts of trouble now. He must advance, he must score points, and he must protect his cut. And there's the knee strikes by Monsawan, letting David know he wants to go grappling. He's going to have to take a few knees as well. So David doing everything with his power to reverse this fight, but it's all the stream is trickling Monsawan's way. David there he is, desperation, trying to move in onto Monsawan. Monsawan with the elbow and the roundhouse kick. David still keeps on advancing though, and taking a lot of punishment as he does so. Monsawan backing back, retreating, and then firing in the roundhouse kick. David spits out his mouth guard. Determinedly now moves in on to Monsawan. Goes in for the grapple, strikes him with the knees. Monsawan weathering the storm of David. And David, though, showing a lot of courage here as he keeps on advancing onto Monsawan. Oh, good head high kick there by Monsawan. Well, David is really taking some punishment as he moves forward. But that's been his instructions, to attack and try to swing the fight back in his favour to regain the initiative. But Monsawan has been very cool in defence. He's got a variety of weapons with those roundhouse kicks. He's got the punches and also the occasional elbow in his repertoire. Monsawan breaking the grapple from David. David starting to tire, it seems like. David tiring. Monsawan taking a look at David, looking at that cut underneath his eye too. Roundhouse kick onto David. David now fading in this round. Seconds remaining of the fourth round. It's been another good round to Monsawan. David certainly put a lot of pressure onto the fighter in red, but unable to follow through. And with 1 round remaining, Monsawan goes into his corner, a red-hot favourite to win this contest. Here's a slow motion. There's those roundhouse kicks to the head on that occasion by Monsawan. David a bit of nonplussed what to do. He did try to advance and get into the grappling, but Monsawan had those kicks working extremely effectively, and never at any stage did David really able to put his grappling irons onto Monsawan in that fourth round. And now it's into the fifth round, and David does really need a knockout. Certainly a knockdown if he's going to have any chance of all winning. So he's got to do something, and he can't. And Monsawan only has to defend these points, and he'll be the winner. So David looking for the one big shot to put Monsawan down and salvage this contest. He certainly would seem that he is unable to win this contest by points unless he does knock Monsawan down. And Monsawan's not going to take any real risks. He's going to stand back there and defend his position. He won't be dropping down his guard too easily for David. And David tired badly at the end of the fourth, and no doubt will be feeling the heat as this round progresses. Fortunately for him, he's cut under the eye. Does not seem to be any problem for him. It is not bleeding, and it seems like the handlers have been able to look after him fairly well in that regard, but that's not going to help their cause in terms of scoring enough points for David to win this contest, because he's a long way behind on points. And Monsawan has been able to do everything as he is required, and that is to score sufficient points and now defend in this final fifth round. Roundhouse kick to the body by Monsawan. He's always had that dominating roundhouse kick that has really been too overpowering for David. David's unable to really get to grips with that roundhouse kick of Monsawan's. And well, he suffered the consequences by trying to charge in close, because Monsawan was also able to deliver that short, sharp elbow, and that delivered the cut underneath David's eye. So at long range or at short range, Monsawan has been the superior fighter, and I'm sure that David will just be happy to hear the bell sound. But he's still going to keep on going. This is probably his last chance if he's going to do anything to stop Monsawan. Now is it. Into the latter stages of the fifth round. David in the blue. Last desperate attempt to knock Monsawan down. Monsawan defending a sizable points advantage, I would suggest. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And David, well, we can say that he's given 100% effort, but unable to break through the defence of Monsawan, and Monsawan has accumulated sufficient points, I am sure, to be declared the winner of this contest. We'll wait for the final decision. The final decision. There he is, the winner on points, Monsawan. There's any doubt about that. And Monsawan in the red corner receives